Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to our next episode of Masters of Product. Our topic for today is redesigning design itself. How do we build an AI first team? And to help us with our topic, I'm happy to have Anjali Desai in our studio. Anjali is a VP of Global Design and AI at Cornerstone OnDemand. She has over 20 years of experience. She's leading product design, user research, accessibility innovation, and held leadership positions at Dell, Intuit, SAP, and PayPal. As for me, my name is Mustafa Kapadia. I help product organizations leverage AI so they can be more effective and efficient. You can learn more about me and my services at echo-point.com. Anjali, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mustafa. Thank you for the nice welcome and intro.
You're welcome. And by the way, not only is Anjali great at design, she's also a fellow alumni of Thunderbird. It's hard that it's amazing we haven't met earlier, but I'm so glad we are.
Same
So
here.
it's always good to have another T-Bird on the show. I think you
Yeah.
are actually number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, lovely.
Um, Actually, Anjali, if it's okay, let's kind of start with the top. Just can you briefly design the way briefly describe the way your design organization is currently, right?
hmm So at Cornerstone, we have a global design team. Global in the sense we are a globally dispersed
Yeah.
design organization. And within that, we have our key functions: product design, accessibility, UX writing, UX research, as well as design operations. So
Perfect.
those are our centers of excellence: accessibility, writing, research, and
Mhm.
operations. So designers are working alongside all of them.
Great. And just to kind of give us an idea of scale, how many people are we talking about within the organization?
So we are close to about 50-ish
Perfect.
overall.
Yeah. So it's definitely not a small organization,
hmm
right?
hmm
And I think scale matters because I think the questions whenever we talk about redesigning the design organization, right? It's very different when you're redesigning for 4 or 5 people versus when you're designing for
Yeah.
50 plus, right? Um, so within this organization or within this, you and I have talked about this, is that now you have this new thing called AI. Well, it's not new anymore, right? It's a new way of working.
hmm
And so I'm curious, how is your organization adopting AI? What are they
hmm
using it for?
hmm So, as we all know, anything new which comes in our way, it's always some people jump in, early adopters, and some people wait and
Yeah,
watch, like, hey, let's see what others are doing
yeah,
and adopt. And some are like, you need to coax me more. So we have all of that on our
yes, of
team.
course.
And we have been within the design org, we have been on this journey since a year and a half. So it was this slow coaxing from my leaders and myself, like, team, let's start working,
Right.
looking at what it means to leverage these tools. And we just started off using it on our mobile phone, many of us.
Perfect.
And
Yes.
maybe not for work, maybe for like, hey, there is a farewell coming. Let's use Gemini or Perplexity or Claude and
Yeah.
write a poem, create
100%.
some, graphic. So that's how we started with the team. And now where we are is the team has been leveraging a lot of the tools, making sure we are within our compliance, what is required within the
Yeah.
company, using the tools for the right reasons, not
Of
disclosing
course.
any PII.
Yeah.
And now the team is leveraging it across writing, accessibility, design,
I love it.
as well as research and operations.
Nice. Great. Do you have a favorite use case of how you've seen somebody in your team use it and you're like, oh, I would have never thought about using it that
So there are multiple use cases. For example, I'll start with something very tangible for us. On our team, we have a head of UX writing,
way? Yeah.
and she has her support writer in India. So for all that is going out, for all the product experiences, these are the only two writers on the team.
Got it. Yeah.
And Ashley has been, I'm calling out Ashley's name, but she was one of those. Since last year, we've been talking a lot. How do we scale writing? Making sure it
Yes.
is readability is
100%.
key,
Yeah.
inclusivity, and we do follow certain voice and tone.
Yes.
So she has a canned prompt which she gives to all the designers.
That's
So
perfect.
first cut writing, which comes into her design experiences before even she reviews it, is already at some semblance close
Yes.
to what we would do.
Yeah.
And the human in the loop, or the editor, in this case Ashley and her partner in India, Sanjana, they get to review and edit and add
That's
any content.
perfect. Yeah.
So that's just in writing. Within research, we have done a lot. Within design, we are doing a lot. We're using multiple tools to have variations of our wireframes, of our prototypes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
leveraging a design system. So our design system is already in Figma Make.
Perfect.
So any prototypes which are coming out of that environment is already aligned to our design system,
Yes.
which is also the components are accessible. So they don't have to worry, oh, I have to go through an accessibility review for components.
Yes. Makes a whole big difference. Yeah.
It is amazing. And the team has gained, I'm being very conservative, at least 30 to 40% efficiency right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And we
But
are chugging along. We are in just as recent as 2 months back, Mustafa. What has happened is my design leader, he has looked into how do we get AI into discovery phase,
yes.
define, design, iteration, all of that. And we have
Yes.
created a AI loop in the PDLC, which tools
Perfect.
where for what. So
Yes.
starting of the journey, and we're super excited about it.
100%. I love the use case that you talked about because you're absolutely right. AI can be used across all of those phases. And yes,
Mhm.
definitely in discovery. I mean, we have lots of clients who are actually doing that
Mhm.
as well. And I think the use case that you talked about with Ashley, that is a great use case because AI is so perfect for it.
Mhm.
And what I really like is that you not only have you used AI, but you've built that workflow around. So you
Mhm.
actually do have human in the loops, almost two checkpoints
Mhm. Mhm.
before something goes out, right? Which is very important because a lot of people think that, well, if I just do it in AI, then it's good enough.
Yeah.
And I like that. You talked about you're leveraging AI in design for UX and mockups and stuff like that. That has always been somewhat of a challenging task with AI. It's getting better and better with some
Mhm.
of the tools out there, but it's never perfect. Um, how has that been with your team? How I mean, are you using Figma Make or are you using some other tools to help you through that process?
So we have some other tools as well, and but Figma is our main tool, which
Yeah,
all the designers use. And what we are doing is making sure we are using our own judgment,
perfect.
even though the tool, perhaps lovable or any other tool, is
Yeah,
providing you the variations. We have to use our judgment in decision making as
yeah,
craft SMEs. So that is what, as leadership, we're pushing for.
yeah,
AI tools can do all this. You have a smart design assistant within
yeah,
AI, but how are you making sure, as the designer, as the human, you are adding the right things and deducting the right things?
yeah,
So that skill is something you get through experience, you get
yeah.
through education. And the way we are upskilling our team is we have regular design reviews, design collaboration sessions,
Nice,
design learning series. So
perfect.
we have different skill sets coming together within my team and giving feedback and sharing their point of view. So it's like watch and learn, also mentoring and coaching. And
Yes,
the other thing is you're also giving back as a designer. If you have
of course.
experimented with something, you're
Yes,
sharing broadly.
yeah.
So that's the
I
environment
think
we
that's
are cultivating within the team.
I like that team. I like that idea too because a lot of AI learning or learning for any matter
Mm-hmm.
happens in a community environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's only so much that you can do on your own, but
Yeah.
once you see your colleagues or others do it, it just opens up a whole new avenue of things to do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? I wanted to ask more about the design systems too, because I think that design system is a very important component of how teams are using AI, not just
Mm-hmm.
designers, but being able to give those design components to even your counterparts in product or engineering
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that they stay consistent with with your brand. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how has that been working? Do you actually have a design component team that's responsible for this, or how have you
Mm-hmm.
organized for that?
Yeah, great question. So it'll be 3 years for me in December since I joined Cornerstone. Now, going back, we did not have a design system team the day
Oh wow,
when I
okay,
started. So that was a team we put together. And with any company, M&As happen, With
Yes.
each acquisition, it's a new design system coming in. So we were dealing with 5 different design systems at that point.
Mm,
So the current design system, which is Flare, and we have a great engineering partnership and leadership there supporting and working with us. So
perfect.
we have design and engineering working together, and we are looking at what are the key components. We started there auditing where were the gaps, and now we have come to a place of maturity where designers can go directly into Figma Make, create those prototypes.
Perfect.
And one thing is all of them are accessible component, language used is inclusive.
Yes. Yeah.
Plus, what we are looking at is what is the future state. It's not one and done, as we know with any design system. So how are we investing in evolving it?
Yes.
So it has been a journey, but a remarkable journey. And we do
Yeah.
have a head of design system, Neha, who is based in
Perfect.
Bangalore.
Well, I'm welcome to uh, welcome Neha, Anjali, and Sanjana, if I'm not mistaken, to the
Hmm.
show. So if you're watching, glad you're doing that. You talked a little bit about user research, and there's a
Hmm.
ton happening with AI and user research, right? All the way from how you do user research to having new capabilities like using synthetic users to
Hmm.
augment some of your user research.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, how has that adoption been going? What are you guys doing there?
This was a topic with my head of research yesterday. We were talking about synthetic users because
Yeah,
this is where like the first cut on analyzing and synthesizing the user output
yeah,
based, perhaps it's all users, synthetic users. What we have to do is we have to intervene and see. It's pretty
yeah,
much like exactly like design. Yes, we get the output, but what is our inference of the behaviors?
yes,
And is empathy factored in? Because we are all about human empathy. I mean,
yeah,
design, human centered design is about empathy. So the tweaking of that and also looking at what are the nuggets we're getting from there is where our researchers play a very key role. And they
100%.
are doing this in an incremental way. And also looking at tab structure. One of my design leaders, Kiran PK, he's been coaching his team like even let us look at the information architecture, feed it into AI, let's see what the tab structure
Right.
is it a variant A and B, and work with researchers on all that to test it out.
Perfect.
So it is coming to a place where yes, we leverage AI as one of our companion tools,
Yeah.
but not to take over everything. It
No,
elevates
that I agree.
consistency, but we
Yeah,
make the call.
100%. I think that's where the human in the loop that you talked about
Mhm.
earlier is so important, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, just talking about Kiran actually just posted something on LinkedIn. So, Kiran, thanks for giving a call out to Ashley and Sanja, and now you have a call out for yourself as well. So, clearly, a team is very interested in it because apparently they're all listening to us.
That's lovely.
Uh, on the idea about um, synthetic users, I think there is a lot of promise there, like you said,
Hmm.
but you also have to be careful, right?
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of working with lots of senior leaders of VPs of design, and for at least for a few of my clients, we've been actually building synthetic users that they can then share with sales and marketing and product and so on and
Hmm.
so forth, because it really is a great way to unlock the current research that you have.
Hmm.
Because you know this problem, right, Anjali? You guys do great research, and then it sits somewhere in the deck, and then
Hmm.
that's it,
Hmm.
and all
Hmm.
that knowledge is locked,
Yeah.
right? And you can use something like a synthetic user to unlock it and share
Hmm.
those personas
Hmm.
with others in the organization in a very simple and accessible way. Because just
Absolutely.
like with your writing team, your research team probably has bandwidth issues.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
always the case,
Hmm.
right? And so this allows them to do 10x, or
Exactly.
at least expand their influence, right?
And I would like to also talk about our accessibility team. It's a team
Yeah,
of
please.
only 3 people under
Right.
Stacy Genderson, and they're doing remarkable work. So that team is also looking at how do we leverage tools to look at what can we be, what can be done from process or operations point of view, because they're also doing a lot of customer
Right.
facing conversations on accessibility issues. So across the board, we're looking at efficiencies, and
Perfect.
the mindset now has shifted from a little bit of like, what is this? Curious, and now let's do it. So
Yeah.
there has been that evolution. And Mustafa, maybe you were around that whole mobile first mindset in
Yes.
2009, right?
Yeah.
So people are curious, what is this mobile first? What do we do? And that helped us to simplify our experiences. Content became really light. And I remember at PayPal, I was at PayPal in 2009, content went on diet. There were
Yeah.
posters on the wall because who has patience and even like,
Nobody
reading through
reads.
tons of content? And imagine, forget that, it's comprehension, content,
Yeah.
localization costs. We
Yes.
reduced all that. So
Yeah.
now we are pivoting to this whole AI first paradigm.
Yeah.
And this is where the whole journey mapping comes into play. So
Oh, yes.
the
Oh, good.
design team is doing that. We are looking
That's
at the
perfect.
journey map,
Yes.
value stream mapping, and where would AI infusing that AI experience make a lot more sense
Yes.
on the tasks to be done, jobs to be done. Is that an agent workflow?
Yeah. Oh, I love this. In fact, okay, do you mind if I actually go even further? So
Yeah.
when you talk, got so many questions. um, when you talk about the mobile first, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are, of course, going through this AI first
Mm-hmm.
experience right now, in which teams are saying, okay, can I do something with AI first before I do anything else? But there's another paradigm, and I'm sure you guys are already on top of it, is that we're now moving away from not just text, but we're now moving from text to voice,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And so that changes everything. Because if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, traditionally, UX UI has been something that you look on a screen,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we're like, just like you said, I first started, or our team first started using AI on our mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was through, most people, when they use mobile phones, they usually talk into the AI and
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
responses, right?
Yeah.
And so it completely changes the entire user experience. And that's a whole different paradigm. And I
Exactly.
think we're just barely scratching that surface,
Yes.
right? If at
Conversational
all.
UI.
Um,
Absolutely.
and so I'm curious what you guys have been thinking about that, or how you guys have been thinking about it. And when, because I do see a world, Anjali,
Mm-hmm.
in which people are less and less on screens and more
Mm-hmm.
on
Yes.
natural language, just talking to
Mm-hmm.
talking to the computer, talking to the wall, talking to your watch,
Mm-hmm.
you name it.
Yeah.
So
And if we bring in Stacy, who's our head of accessibility,
and by the
she'll
way,
say
Kieran
this.
has decided to bring in a few more people, so I'll just
Y-
put it on. So
Yeah,
Neha, Roy, and Stacy, and there's
there
Stacy.
you go. And this is all about thinking about the different types of users we are catering to.
Yes,
So from that vantage point of view, voice conversational interface also becomes very key.
yes,
And we have to think that way. We do not have anything out there yet from product experience perspective, but our teams are thinking about what is a conversational experience look like and how does it manifest. And this is where mobile form factor becomes so important for us.
yes,
Even if it's enterprise, within enterprise, how are we enabling this?
yeah.
That's why I go back to the mobile first, the whole
Yeah,
paradigm
it's a
shift.
great it's a great mindset, because you're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
because we all had to switch from even as product managers, you come from product management. What are the key features you want to put on mobile?
Yeah,
We have to really kind of
it's a huge
declutter.
rationalization exercise,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because you're not doing 10 things now, you're doing one or
Mhm.
two things, but
It's
you have to do those
focus.
one or two things very
Yes.
well, right?
And that's where we are now. I
Yeah,
think this is a very exciting time for designers and folks like me who have come from traditional design, have done print and then digital, and
yeah,
coming into this AI space.
it's
But
amazing,
what,
right?
yeah, that journey, it's teaching us that what you learned within print, I am one of those. You can ask my team, one pixel off, and I'm like, guys, no, that doesn't work,
Yeah,
because that is what sets you apart.
100%.
Why
Yeah,
is Apple so well known?
yeah,
Because they care. You need to care about
yes,
each
yeah,
pixel, each person. So, this is the training I want my team to have,
yeah.
and they are all constantly learning because the craft becomes key.
Well, yes, well, it's that, and then also just pride of work, right? Because I think
Hmm.
there's a lot of pride when especially when you're doing something visual, it
Yeah,
is a very emotional experience, and so you want
exactly. And Mustafa, the other thing is, yes, Lovable will give you 4 or 5 variations. But what is it in you? What is that craft skill or expertise you have which will be able to recognize that this one is the best out of the five?
yes, 100%.
So
That
that is the
that is
most
where the
important
experience
thing.
comes in. And so when
Mm-hmm.
people say that, oh, AI is going to take over my job, your your conversation is 100% accurate, because AI will give you a lot of options,
Mm-hmm.
right? Lovable or magic patterns or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it might be is going to give you tons of options.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide which one is the right one.
Yes.
And I think it goes back to not just understanding making things pixel perfect, like you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a deep understanding of the business and the user and the journey that they're
Exactly.
on,
Mm-hmm.
which AI will never get to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That um, that level of experience, that level of insight is not something that you can even put into context yet.
No.
So, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so we're
It's
definitely there.
And
We,
even in the discovery phase, when we are, how might we, right? The customer problem statement.
yeah,
So we are closer to the customers. We understand that, and
yeah,
we then follow through with that's the human led leading into AI. How do we leverage AI to solve that problem? So it's all those little nuances and post-its around a laptop. You and I might have
yeah,
talked about this. When we go to small, I have done it into it. Small businesses, we would do follow me homes, where we would take a researcher and the product manager. We'd go and look at how they are using the product. If
yeah,
you're using the product with post-its around with prompts on navigation,
yeah.
that
That's
is
the problem.
saying that there's something wrong with our product
Yeah,
with the navigation. Now, AI would not be able to see that part of it.
no,
This is where our human behavioral science and also
yes,
observation comes into
yeah.
play.
I
And
actually think that this is almost a renaissance period for designers,
mm-hmm,
because in the last few years or last decade or so, most people think of design as being Figma jockeys,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? But I think there's so much more that design can do, right? And that's the research that you're talking about, having deep user insight.
mm-hmm.
I think having a design system, those are the kind of things that really give design the 10x advantage,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Mm-hmm,
And those are the kind of things that unfortunately sometimes, not all companies, but some companies don't invest enough in,
mm-hmm.
because they're always looking for what's the output,
Yeah, the production
right?
aspect. Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm,
this allows you to say, okay, I can give the output, but I can
mm-hmm,
actually give you a much, much more richer insights
mm-hmm.
based on doing these studies, because we never had time before, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our clients are actually researchers in design
Mm-hmm,
teams, because
mm-hmm,
they're really trying to figure out how they can actually do more research with less.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
synthetic users is part of it.
mm-hmm,
Putting in design systems is the other one, because those
mm-hmm.
are your 10x or your over leverage,
Absolutely.
right?
Mhm.
We have two more comments from your team, so clearly your team is listening. Okay. Actually, it's good to hear from you. Great time for builders and mindset to thrive and generate value. 100% agree. And biology is strive for the wow, not good or best. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think you are right, because we are moving from a mobile first and AI first to a voice first
Mhm.
type of
Mhm.
experience, right?
Yeah.
What that looks like, I think, is still to be determined. But
Mhm.
it is a very interesting time.
Yeah. Because I think
Um,
about my mom in India, close to 90, voice first would totally work for her,
100%, right?
because, her mobilities had changed. So, and she still sings at that age, and voice is her tool.
Yeah.
So, how do we enable this across different age groups?
Yeah.
I think that's where we need to be
And I
thinking.
think it goes back to your idea about accessibility. And a lot of
Mhm.
people, even though you may design UX perfectly, still have a hard time with understanding the flow of things,
Mhm. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you may try to, what works for one group doesn't work for another group, or one
Mhm.
person another group. So you can never
Mhm.
get that level of intimacy between you and the product.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so when you use voice, they're using their natural language to
Mhm.
communicate. You
Exactly.
can then extract what they're trying to do,
Mhm.
right? Which I think is where we can actually this is why they say AI is a great customizer, right?
Mhm.
Customize the experience exactly what you
Yeah.
want. We've talked a lot about where we want to go, and we've talked
Mhm.
a lot about how your team is using. Um, let's talk a little bit about just what have been the challenges so far of you of your team adopting the AI, or just internal challenges, or just people are naturally nervous about AI,
Mm-hmm,
new
mm-hmm,
technology, right? Just like anything else. So
mm-hmm,
I'm curious what have the challenges been with your organization,
mm-hmm.
and how are you guys overcoming it?
Yeah. So one thing is, perhaps it sounds cliche, but it's not challenges, it's opportunities. That's how I would flip it for my team. Because what we are looking at, and many of us on the team are designers who sketch with their
Yeah.
traditional pencils, right? And then you also have the Apple Pencil,
Yeah.
right? So it's now coming to 2B, HB, 6B, then AIB. That's how I'm looking at it. So AI
Mm,
is another pencil for you, another tool for you. So don't be, just grab and start playing with it.
yes.
Because many of us are sketching on paper, we take it to Mid Journey, we pull in a photograph, and we bring things together.
Yeah.
So that's what I would encourage the team. And jobs, I know we've been hearing a lot like, hey, AI is going to take away jobs. It's not that. If you have that tool in your pocket, you are not only leveraging your critical thinking, but using the right set of tools for the right things.
100%. Yeah.
So the team, initially, I will not sugarcoat it. We had some hesitation on the team.
Of
Some
course.
people
And
were
it's natural.
early adopters, and some
Yeah.
people were like, why now? What's
Yeah.
in it for me? But we have, as leaders, we have to lead by example. So I'm fortunate to have leaders who have been those trailblazers within the team, showing and telling, because that's a great way to learn. You brought that up. Like we all say, okay, this is what I do, this is how I did
Yes.
it, and let's start playing. So now I think we have normalized that mindset to say it is a reality, this is where we are, let's start optimizing.
Yeah.
And I see that the conversations are happening at PDLC level,
Perfect.
which tool where, and also with the double diamond of design.
Yes, 100%. And I think as people get more and more used to using AI, they realize that not only does it augment some of the work, so, AI can take some of the burdens of work away,
Mm-hmm,
which is
mm-hmm.
always good, but it can also amplify what you're really good at. So if
Yeah.
you're really good at market research, AI
Mm-hmm.
can actually help you now do better and deeper
Mm-hmm.
research than ever before.
No, that's a
And so in
great
many
point.
ways, it's a superpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to get rid of the mundane that you don't like doing,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it allows you to spend more time on the things that you do like you doing. And then, like anything else, if you get better and better at it, it's
Mhm.
almost at a point in time that the distance between you and the average person or the average designer just keeps increasing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I think when we go into our organization, or when we go into our clients, we heavily emphasize that, because as you start using AI, it amplifies whatever you're good at,
Mhm.
right? We have two more comments. Let's see. This is Kiran again. I want to make sure that we give enough shout. So great point. Outcomes versus output. This is to our reference in an earlier point. Culture
Mhm.
follows metrics.
Mhm.
When companies strive for outcomes, it changes games. I 100% agree. The more outcome focused, the better, which is where I think we're all going anyways.
Mhm.
And then we have Ashley. And I don't know if Ashley is part of your team or not, but I know some of the
Yes.
people are. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Ashley. Building a user experience that doesn't feel like using AI is really key. 100% agree, Ashley.
Mhm.
I think when people try to force AI into a conversation
Mhm.
or into an experience, it's always just kludgy.
Yes.
It's how do
Mhm.
you make it seamless, right?
Mhm.
Because you're right, customers will never ask for AI. We just
Mhm.
want them to solve the problems. So thank you. I'm curious. We talked about driving adoption, and now the fact is that your team is getting better and better at it,
Mhm.
right? The question then always becomes is, what does this change into? Because we kind of talked about where your team has been,
Mhm.
what you see the challenges are. But
Mhm.
how do you see the role of design changing over time?
So I've been thinking a lot about this, Mustafa, not just within design, but even within a product
Oh,
organization
100%.
or
This is fascinating.
engineering.
This is all I do.
Because the roles are dissolving. There is
Yes.
kind of amalgamation, I would say. What comes down to is, how are you, as that person within the org, a better critical thinker,
Yeah.
an empathetic thinker,
Yeah.
because we are all designing for end users. And then the tools, any I could be using any tool and writing product requirements, or product
Yes.
managers could be using Lovable to design something.
Yes.
So there is going to be this cross pollination, and we had seen this start off with design strategists moving into product management,
Yes.
and that has happened. So now we'll see a lot more of this. We will have cross pollinated functional core
100%.
teams,
Yeah.
and we will be wearing multiple hats. So in the
Yes.
end, what totally sets you apart is that craft, the core
Yes.
craft you bring, because that will be something your experience will call out and will
Yeah.
reflect in the
Yeah.
experience
And
to the
that's something
user.
that cannot be replaced, right?
Exactly.
And I do agree with you. I think even the trends that we're seeing right now is that more and more people who already have that product mindset
Mm-hmm.
in design or engineering, for that matter, are
Mm-hmm.
moving more and more into
Yeah.
product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the roles or the lines between the roles are blurring.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes, I can see a time in which as the roles merge, you'll get much more of this hybrid mix of product
Mm-hmm.
management, but then you have deep expertise in user research with
Mm-hmm.
design systems or
Mm-hmm.
UX copy or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that might be,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to augment all of these roles,
Yeah.
right? And I see us, I see designers doing more things that they love as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just making mock-ups.
Yeah. And I
So,
see, even the design MBA programs, those are helping designers think more like on the business side, product
100%.
management, all of that.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to
Yeah.
be for designers, because
Yes.
you are taught to empathize with the users. That's our job. We
Yes.
bring the mirror and say, who are you solving this for and why?
Yes.
That's what we do.
Yes.
So that's my encouragement to the team,
Yeah.
for sure, and also for new hires, because we do this, we get new
Yes.
hires or even prospects coming and talking to us in interviews. They say, I have not designed or delivered any AI product. That's okay.
Yeah.
What we are looking for is, show us a sample. If you were given a project, pick up
How
a
will you do
project,
it? Yes.
show us the workflow, show us your thinking, and
Yeah.
based on that, also the tools you have used.
100%. In fact, you actually stole my last question, is that as you're building this new organization,
Mhm.
you are not just upskilling and reskilling the current team, but it also depends on who you add to the team. So
Exactly.
in that case, to continue the conversation, what type of skills are you looking for new hires, right?
Mhm.
Because I think we're going to need more and more great designers.
Yeah. And the few things I would be looking for is key craft skill, which they
Yeah.
should own. We, depending on the size of the organization, you will have unicorns and you'll have SMEs within
Yeah.
craft. So you have to balance that. And the horizontals, the COEs on design, we will be looking at that. And the critical thinking part will be very key.
Yes. 100%.
How do you tell the story is another
Yes.
one of
Yeah.
the skills we look for.
Yeah. These are very intrinsic human skills, right? So, we talk
Exactly.
about, or at least I talk about something called human AI optimization, right? AI is great at a whole bunch of things, but not everything. And
Yeah.
humans are great at a whole bunch of things and not everything. And how do you bring the two together so
Exactly.
you can get it? Because you're right. A human knows exactly how to tell the story, or know, coming back to your early example of these 3 or 4 designs, which ones do I like the best? Or how would I take part A from here, part B from here, part C from here, and bring it all together, because they have that critical thinking
Yeah.
component, right? It becomes more and more important
Mm-hmm.
as you get into the world of AI.
Yeah.
Anjali, we're not just out of time, we're over time, which is what happens when you actually have a good conversation. I would love to, if you're open to it, love to have you back in about a year or so and just see how the world of design has evolved, right? Because
That'll be
we're
my
still
pleasure.
very much in the beginning stages of the journey. We have no idea what it's going to do to our products, to our organization. Um, I would love to see, it's a fascinating time to be in
It
this world.
is,
Yeah,
truly is. And I would love to come back, Mustafa. This has been an honor.
good.
Love
And
the
I'm glad your
conversation.
team has been able to join us too. So definitely you have some raving fans.
Yeah, and many of them are calling in from India. So thank you,
Oh,
team.
wow. So it's
It's
late
kind
for
of
them.
late
Yeah.
for them, but
Yeah.
that I am very fortunate to have a great team. So
Perfect.
I'm blessed that way.
Well, it shows. Thank you very much, Anjali. We'll definitely have you back. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mustafa.
Bye for
Take
now.
care. Bye bye.